Welcome to Vicky's World, and today we are making a seared salmon but with a fabulous relish which will take you all the way to Spain, Italy, Greece and maybe France. It's an artichoke, sun-dried tomato and olive relish with some bell peppers. Let's start cooking. Now, when I work with salmon, when I work with any other fish, when the fish is really good, it's fresh, you don't want to really put too many spices and masalas into it. So that's the reason when I marinate fish, all I do is add a little bit of salt and pepper and a touch of olive oil and maybe sometimes a little bit of lemon juice, but it just depends. So I've got some salt, I've got some cracked black pepper. Now salmon by itself is a really oily fish. So you don't really need too much of oil or any kind of fat when you're cooking it. So all you need is a hot pan first, which I've got on the stove. Into this I'm going to be adding just a dash, not too much, just a dash of olive oil into it. Now there are various ways where you can season salmon. Now if you want to go the Asian way and a bit of the Indian way, you could add a little bit of cumin powder along with your salt and pepper, which gives a really nice, good twist to it. Now in this, I've got enough of tang and sourness coming from the sun-dried tomato. I've got a deep flavor, a good umami coming out of the olives. So I don't really want to add any more citrus or any kind of acid into the fish. Now salt and pepper is already done in the fish. I'm just waiting for this pan to heat up. Now while this pan is heating up, let me cut these yellow and red bell pepper strips for my relish. Great. And then I have a nice tomato here, beautiful red tomato, which I'm going to be adding just a little bit, just those petals of tomatoes as we call them. So again, cut into strips. Beautiful. So I've got my ingredients for the relish here. The pan is kind of almost there, getting there. Super. Now pan is hot. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to sear the salmon very quickly. Now when I like to eat salmon, I don't like it completely well done. I liked it like a little over medium. So it's still firm on the outside, but it's still very soft, moist and juicy on the side. And I think that's the way you have to cook with good fish. So let's start cooking this salmon now. So always the presentation side goes down. So I've got my salmon cooking, waiting for it to get seared, 2.5 to 3 minutes on either side, and your salmon is perfectly pink in the middle. Over here on the other side, let's start making this really cool relish. Now I call this a relish because this goes very well with the salmon and it's a great side dish. So I've got some nice beautiful artichokes which I bought online. Same with the sun-dried tomatoes, and I've got these olives which are stuffed with gherkins, okay, which I'm going to be using this as well. So there you go, you get a little bit of sourness and the saltiness from the olives. So there's multi-dimensional flavors happening here. So I'm just going to slice these up a little bit. A couple of olives per recipe. Great. Artichokes which are already marinated in oil, beautiful olive oil, so you don't really need to do much into this. Sun-dried tomatoes, again packed with beautiful olive oil, and these are fabulous. Great topping for a sandwich, for a pizza. Just if you want to serve these, now literally sometimes what you can do is you can actually take these olives, wrap them in these sun-dried tomatoes, add a little bit of toothpick, and there you get a beautiful anti-parsley or an appetizer with a nice glass of wine or some cheese. Bingo. All you need is nothing else. So I'm going to be turning this. Wow, fabulous. So as you know, this salmon has got a beautiful, lovely color which is on the side, and this is exactly that bronze, beautiful color that we are looking for. The salmon is beautifully cooked. Let's take this off the pan so that it doesn't cook too much. I'm going to let it sit here, and let's start cooking the rest of our dishes. Okay, so here we've got a nice pan into which we're going to be adding a little bit of olive oil into the pan. I've got some chopped onions which I'm going to be doing here. I've got a little bit of fresh green chilies, a little bit of garlic, give this a beautiful mix, into which we're going to be adding some bell peppers, a bit of these stuffed olives, some lovely artichokes going in there as well. And I'm going to be adding just a little bit of sun-dried tomato into this as well. So you've got beautiful flavors happening in this plate. Fabulous. Season with a little bit of salt. Give this a little mix. Fabulous. Next, I have some cooked chickpeas, which is going to give a nice Mediterranean twist into it. Some chopped parsley, cracked black pepper. So you have this fabulous relish left, which can be eaten hot or it can be eaten cold as well. Just a couple of minutes more and our dish is beautifully ready. So the relish is almost done. There's a lot of flavor in this dish, absolutely. Next, we have the salmon, onto which we're going to be adding the relish into this as well. Next, very, very simple, a piece of salmon on the top, a bit of parsley onto the plate. We're going to drizzle a bit of this beautiful olive oil onto this, which will become almost like a sauce for this dish. A bit of microgreens or sprouts. Fabulous! My seared salmon with an artichoke, olive and sun-dried tomato relish, straight from Mediterranean into your kitchen. If you really like this recipe, thumbs up, tick, share and subscribe to Vicky's World.